Now, when I'm not making videos, I enjoy nothing better than just sitting on my ass, drinking a cup of coffee and watching a bit of daytime telly. I mean, who doesn't? And when I saw this morning announce that some people were going to be annoyed by tomorrow's guest, I thought, well, I'm some people. Is he going to annoy me? Then I saw that it was Mark Sargent, so
yes,
he did annoy me. So let's have a look at why.
Go nuts on my nuts.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Playing a Blinder with me, the Creaky Blinder. Now, I'm not going to do a long drawn out introduction to this video because for some bizarre reason, the ITV seem completely immune to fair use, so this video is guaranteed to get demonetized. So let's just crack on, shall we? Tidy!
Now then, most of us have spent our entire lives thinking that the Earth looks like this. But you can forget about that. This is what it is. It's flat. And it has a, just like Game of Thrones, it has a big ice wall.
Nice burn, Philip. You, sir, are a legend. Now, for those of you watching who aren't aware of the institution that is This Morning, this is Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby. And you can see from Philip's comment about the ice wall from the Game of Thrones that he is giving no credibility to Mark Sargent, and he hasn't even asked him a question yet.
Mark Sargent is one of the leading voices in the Flat Earth movement, and he believes it's time that we all woke up and realised that we actually are living on a flat disc.
Is he though? Is he really one of the leading voices? Or is he just king idiot? Because nothing he says is original, and he bases everything he knows or thinks he knows on the fact that NASA fake everything.
Good morning, Mark.
Welcome.
I mean, obviously, there are thousands of questions,
Yes.
which I'm sure you've been asked 1,000 times.
A few, yes.
Yeah, so,
Philip, I understand the because that's exactly how I feel whenever I come across a new flat earther. And Mark's face is absolutely priceless. You can see he just can't believe he's on national television.
we believed for many years that the Earth was flat, and then science comes along, and discovery comes along,
Right.
and we think, right, okay, now we can see that it's actually round.
Philip, do you know nothing about flat earthers? Science schmience.
Sure.
We've seen that it's round.
Sure.
So how come it's not?
Yeah, Mark, how come it's not? Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? Don't forget, you're on national TV with Philip and Holly Willoughby.
It's not because we can't prove it's a globe.
Okay. Well, based on that statement, I'm assuming that you can prove that it's flat then.
It starts out with everybody that's in the flat Earth community starts out looking at the globe saying, can you prove it? Can you prove the globe, especially without using NASA? Because it's not that we found out that the world was a globe back in 1972. We knew for 5 centuries.
Well, yeah, obviously we can prove the globe. We've got thousands of photos of the globe from space. There are measurements that can be taken which demonstrate that we live on a globe. But the problem is with flat earthers, Mark Sargent and his minions alike, is that they all just call bullshit on any shred of evidence we provide. And the problem is they always blame NASA. So what happened when NASA was formed? What did NASA pull out a giant iron and iron the Earth flat? And then from the 29th of July 1958, everybody that was employed by NASA were just like, nope, nothing to see here. It's definitely a globe. No, we definitely didn't just iron it flat. You're imagining it. Go on with your lives. It's a globe.
I flew in Concorde, and I was lucky enough to fly in Concorde, and you get up to 65,000 feet, and I could see the curvature of the Earth. That was proof to me. How come that wasn't true?
Could you though, Philip? With a crew of Concorde interfering with your vision? Ask yourself this, Philip Schofield. Did you nod off at all? Did the air hostess... Is air hostess PC? Did the cabin crew slip some fisheye goggles onto your eyes when you were asleep and you didn't notice when you woke back up? CGI.
No civilian will ever be able to see the curvature of the Earth. Because
So is he lying?
Is Philip Schofield lying? Because he just said he saw the curvature of the Earth through the window of Concorde at 65,000 feet. Come on.
No, I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm saying that you wanted to see the curvature. There's a big difference.
But don't you want to believe that it's flat? You have
No.
more proof. I have more proof than you do.
I I would challenge that.
Well, I've got footage here that's direct from the space station, and that's live pictures from the space station now.
Right.
That's all alive.
Again, started from the American military. Yes, absolutely. I'm saying it's worse than that.
So what is that then? What am I looking at if I'm not looking at live pictures?
You're looking at CGI.
CGI.
Nothing more. Something that started out very simple back in the 1950s and advanced till today.
Available since the 1950s? 2D CGI was first used in movies in 1973's Westworld, though its first use of 3D imagery was in its sequel, Future World, in 1976, which featured a computer-generated hand and face created by the then University of Utah graduate student Edwin Cutmull and Fred Park. Let me just reread that. No, there's definitely no mention of 1950s. Absolutely none at all. The internet, eh?
So I'm a bit of a space nut.
Sure. Sorry.
And so no. I mean, I'm very happy with that.
Right.
And I've got the app on my phone, which has got where the space station is right now. And I have in the past looked at those live pictures.
Yes.
And I have seen where the space station is and thought, right, it's coming over me now. And so I have watch the space station. You can see it as that light. It doesn't blink, doesn't flash, goes over as a solid light. And at the same time, I've looked at my laptop and I've seen where I am.
Yeah. Now, I don't actually know whether or not Mark Sargent believes space is real, and therefore, does he believe that the ISS is up there? And I also really don't care. But you're about to see somebody turn around quicker than a breakdancer spinning on his head.
Oh, I'm not saying there's something up there, no question. Is there a vehicle that could be the ISS up there? Yeah. Are there people inside it? No.
But what about all the footage of the people which are inside the ISS? CGI.
I challenge anybody. We've got
I've interviewed, both of us, we've interviewed Tim Peake from this sofa.
Ah, yes, but Holly Willoughby, how do you know he was really in the ISS? What is wrong with this morning? Isn't it your duty to vet all your guests to make sure they're not lying about their location? Probably not. Because why would their guests lie about their location?
I know. And
So what was I doing? Who was I talking to? Where was he?
You were talking to a military officer, nothing more. I talked to Terry Virts, American astronaut. And look, they're all, you gotta remember, everybody that goes up there are high-ranking military. They start out at
But
colonel
why?
and go...
Why would he bother?
But no, Mark, they're not all high-ranking military personnel. For example, Dennis Tito here, or Tito, if you're a child like me. Boobs. He's a civilian. He was the first space tourist. What's in it for him?
Why would you bother faking
Well,
it?
yeah, why? What's the point of faking it?
Well,
That's all, folks.
that's one of the bigger questions, which is why keep this thing a secret? And we're talking about...
No, but why fake it?
Yeah, we all heard the sigh, Mark. Come on, get on with it. You wanted to come on this program. Why fake it?
Because if you don't fake it, eventually the private industry is going to get involved, and then they're going to find out on their own. This is
And why that would be bad? Because
if you don't keep this thing a secret. Remember, we're talking about something that was discovered back in 1960. The public wasn't ready in 1960.
What's the matter, Mark? You looking a little uncomfortable there. The public weren't ready for what in 1960? Weren't ready for the idiotic idea that the Earth is flat? Or weren't ready for flat Earthers in general? The Earth has always been a globe, so you can't be talking about that, surely.
So they weren't going to take that chance.
So every single, so pilots are involved in this.
No,
They
not
don't
at
know?
all. No,
They don't
no. Pilots, scientists, none of those people. I have astrophysicist Brian Cox. None of them have anything to do with it.
Maybe I've been misunderstanding flat Earth all along, because I thought that everybody had to be involved to keep such a huge secret.
Okay, so all of those people,
Right.
Every NASA science, everyone who's scientist, everyone who's ever been involved in at any stage in any space program, whether it's industry that launches satellites, the various people that launch those satellites,
Right.
everyone that's ever worked on the space shuttle or the Apollo program,
Right.
they're all
No, it's just
pointless.
No. I mean, jobs are created. It's compartmentalization.
Okay, great. Yeah, jobs are created. But if, as all other flat earthers say, yourself included, that people don't go to space, there's nobody aboard the ISS, NASA is evil, What exactly are all these jobs being created for? And more importantly, what are those jobs?
Were the Apollo, those massive Apollo...
We've been to the moon, right?
Were those Apollo rockets that went up into the air, did they go?
They didn't go anywhere. They just went off into the ocean and ditched.
And there we have it. It turns out that Mark Sargent is just as much of a scumbag as all the other people that say the Apollo disaster was fake, because all those astronauts had families which were left behind. So, Mark Sargent, I'm afraid that you have now earned your place on my scumometer, because you, sir, are a scumbag.
That was, again, I'm an American. Look, we're taught, you know, rah, rah, go team, wave the flag. And so it's tough for me, because I love the American space program.
And yet you don't love it enough to acknowledge that the Apollo missions are actual space missions and that some of them ended in disaster. You don't love the American space program quite enough to admit that.
We've got a dome over the top?
Yeah. So let me do this real quick. So the globe that you threw away, what we're talking about is we are all brought up, taught that we live on this tiny little rock that's covered in a little bit of water and smoke. We're flying through this impossible vacuum of space.
And, Mr. Sargent, there's a very good reason why we teach that in our schools. And do you know what that reason is? Reality. Our children get taught real things, not fairy tales about the flat earth, because we want to produce a society of contributing adults, not a society of flat earth believing idiots.
We're saying that we live on a flat, enclosed world that is basically, you're basically living in a big soundstage with walls and a floor and a ceiling.
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show, yeah, very, very, very similar. That is so big that even our best and brightest didn't figure it out until about 1960. And when they did decide to keep it a secret, the really, really short version is you don't live on a globe. This is what it looks like on the outside. That's what it looks like on the inside.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Mark. Now let me ask you a question, and you can answer this down in the comment section, because I know what my opinion on this is, but I want yours as well. Does Mark Sargent actually believe the Earth is flat? Or has he just become so wrapped up in his own lie that he's at the point now where he can't come clean about it, because he would make himself look like an idiot? If that's at all possible. Let's bear in mind that he is apparently the leading voice in the flat earth community. But has he just become trapped by his own lie?
So why don't we just fall off the edge?
For the same reason, the space asteroid question. Yeah. So for the same reason why you don't fall off the edge here. Antarctica is the only continent that doesn't look like anything else. All the other continents in here look perfectly fine.
Well, if that's your idea of perfectly fine, then great. Knock yourself out.
The Antarctic Treaty says that no corporation in the history of the world can set up shop down there forever.
What's outside?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, because it
you
could
have
be
no clue.
Well, I mean, if you can't get outside, you're not going to know for sure.
So, boys and girls, that's what's known as dodging a question. Are you actually going to answer anything properly, Mark? No, I didn't think so.
There's not just one of these. There's more.
So we've got a picture of what you think what it's.
Oh yeah. That was made by one of our people, and it's a great option. I love it.
Have they been there? Have they seen that?
No, of course not.
No, of course not. Don't be so silly. Have we actually seen that the Earth is flat? No, absolutely not. We just know it is.
Okay, but amongst your people,
Yes.
amongst your flat earthers,
Sure.
you argue amongst yourselves.
Oh, well. Holly Willabooby seems to have done her research. Yes, Holly, you're right. They do argue amongst themselves. And I will tell you why they argue. It's because every single one of them is wrong about every single thing they say when it comes to the shape of the Earth.
That's the same sort of thing here. We disagree on so many of the finer points here, but at the end of the day, we all agree on one thing, and that is not a globe. And you can absolutely you can hammer on the globe. Everybody starts out hating flat Earth, and everybody tears down the globe themselves. That's why we have a 99% retention rate.
Now, it's interesting that you bring up statistics, Mark. 99% retention rate in the flat Earth belief, I will assume you meant. It's weird, because we don't need to put a figure on how many people we retain in believing in reality.
What proof do you have?
Got it.
No one has ever been there.
Got it.
No one has ever taken any pictures of the ice wall that surrounds us.
Exactly.
I want to go to the wall.
Boy, you're going to go all the way in here? No, the Antarctic Treaty forbids it. You cannot go there.
Let me summarize for you, just in case you haven't fully been paying attention. Mark Sargent, the leading voice of the flat Earth community, has appeared on This Morning in the UK, which is a daily show which is watched by millions of people. Did he make a fool of himself? Of course he did, because he's a flat earther. He only has to open his mouth to make a fool of himself. So, these are the points, the talking points. Can he prove it? No. How does he know the Earth isn't a globe? He doesn't. Why can't we go to Antarctica and see the ice wall? Because we can't, because the Antarctic Treaty forbids it. Has he got any proof? No. I've already said that once, haven't I? But you get the picture. He's gone on national TV and made himself look like a complete twat.
Tidy!
Anyway, if it is your first time here, don't forget to give the video a like, hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. I'm the Creaky Blinder, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!